employees, your payroll team, your peers, they all want to be heard. They want to be seen.
Welcome to our podcast, It's About Payroll. We're your hosts, Brian Escobar and Walter William Duncan III. Whether you're new to the payroll game or a seasoned veteran, we have something for you. Welcome back, folks. This is It's About Payroll, episode 111. Man, what is going on? How you doing today, sir?
Man, I am good. I'm excited to be here. We're almost in my birthday month,
Yes.
so inching closer to 42, man. Just feeling blessed, man.
God bless you, man.
How
No
about
doubt.
you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm growing, man. I'm going through a season of growth. And look, I love where I'm at. I can't wait to see where I'm going, man. And it's been a ride, bro. It's been a ride. And I'm glad you on the ride with me, man, because you said something recently that said our paths are locked. That right? So hey,
Yes.
when you going through stuff, so am I, vice versa. And it made me think about that. And it's so crazy, right? As we talk about and it is true because we talked about that, and
Yep.
then what? It felt like minutes later, I start seeing posts about be careful who you keep in your circle because your energy and their energy and blah. And I was like, oh man, we were just talking about this. Yeah, man. So I'm good. I'm excited to have Miss Amy Travis on the show tonight.
Man.
Great, someone, an amazing payroll professional. And we went through the not conversation because I don't like talking with the guests before the show. I like to keep it fresh. But we were going back and forth in email. She sent us this like dossier. It was just like she threw out topics. I could talk about this. I was like, oh my gosh, we gotta have her on the show a bunch of times because she had a bunch of great topics to talk about. What we're gonna cover tonight, which is something more near and dear to Walt, is empathy and giving folks grace.
You too. You act like you don't care what you give
No,
people grace.
I do now. I think look, between my wife and you, I've had to evolve into this place where right, because I was a jerk, man. I'm telling you, my young years I was a jerk, and sorry to all the folks
I wasn't,
including Wolf.
but hey, I was there with you, man, because I had this delusional mindset that I was all that, couldn't be touched, and I needed to be humbled. I had to be knocked down. Yeah, I thought I was all that in a pizza.
You still doing it? Oh man. So yeah, it's been something. But before we get into our guests, we have, of course, pay news for you folks. Walt's gonna start us off with his story, and I'll go into mine. And now, a word from our sponsor, Time Track Go. To celebrate Small Business Month, Time Track Go is offering you a chance to experience the power of their time clock software completely free for the first month. The Simply Better employee time clock software that is going to make your life easier. Time Track Go already has a unique graphical employee time card, and that will help you quickly identify and fix the mistakes.
Time Track Go just announced the addition of automatic PTO accrual earnings, so you can say goodbye to those manual calculations. And Time Track Go integrates with your favorite payroll systems, including QuickBooks, Gusto, ADP Workforce Now, Paychex, and more. Don't miss out. Take advantage of this special offer. Use the link in this post to start your 14-day trial in the month of May to qualify for your first month free. Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah, so I have a article from Thomson Reuters. It's about payroll fraud. And this article talks about the prevalence of payroll fraud, key identifiers, and prevention strategies. It's a really interesting read. Check it out. The links will be in the show notes. I have 5 or 6 key points to talk about, and then I'll pass the baton.
Go for it.
So the first point is that there is the prevalence of payroll fraud. The Association of Certified Fraud Examiners, ACFE, revealed that payroll fraud makes up 15% of all occupational fraud schemes in the United States and Canada.
That's a good one. That's a good stat.
Yeah. It often goes undetected for an average of 18 months.
What?
Resulting in an average loss of almost a little under $3K per month.
Oh,
So
wow.
think about that.
So what is that, like almost
Think about that.
$60,000?
Almost 50K, I think.
I'm gonna do the math right now.
You do 3 times 12 is 36.
You said 18 months. Yeah, 50K.
Yeah. 50K.
Wow. Wow.
So 50K. And then number 2, the industries affected. While no industry is payroll fraud is most common in the construction industry and in government and public administration.
Ooh.
The government, bro. Government. Talk about.
No, you're kidding me? We get shut down.
But look, it's one of the 3 most common places that payroll fraud happens.
Look, no diss to the government, but my guess is it's because of the antiquated systems, the just old tech,
and maybe lack of oversight. Yep. Who's overseeing the government?
Yep. Or maybe even too much oversight, and you got too many people layered, and the right people aren't seeing the right things. Talk about that a lot. There needs to be an overhaul in the government. I think they know that. It's going to take a while before it changes. It's too much bureaucracy, too much red tape. Construction industry, we did a few true payroll crimes on the construction industry, so that makes sense. And public administration, yeah, it's the same. What's different? What's the difference between public administration and government? I guess you could.
I don't know. You're asking the wrong person.
Yeah. While you do, I'm going to Google while you talk about the next one.
So number 3, it's the common types of payroll fraud. So the first one is payroll diversion through phishing tactics. Number 2 is ghost employees, where non-existent employees receive wages assessed by fraudsters. Overpayment schemes, such as inflating overtime payments. Embezzling withholding, involving pocketing legitimate withholdings from wages. Expense reimbursement fraud, including padding expenses or submitting fictitious expenses. Mm-hmm. These are all things that we done true payroll crime stories, to your point, on, right?
Good article.
So number 4, prevention strategies. Educating employees about phishing threats. So we definitely want to educate ourselves, employees. We are employees ourselves, so we need to be educated on it as payroll pros too. Implementing 2-factor authentication. Segregation of duties in employee onboarding and termination. So that's sticking to that. People doing stuff in running exception reports to detect unusual patterns. Running those reports to find those metrics, right? Those common occurrences. Requiring original receipts for expense reimbursement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good one. Okay. So can I call out something? Okay, cool. But with the exception reports, not only exception reports, if your system has a robust audit report, run the heck out of that thing and look at it. And look, it's trust but verify. Okay. You can look, me and Walt have worked together a few times now, and I've had to ask him about things that he's doing. It's not that I don't trust him. It's just like,
trust but verify.
Why? And it's not. Yeah, for me, I do trust you, but it's like, why did you do this? Right? Why does it look
trust
like?
But verify.
And then you have to say, why? Because then you could lead to a better practice.
While I'm rolling my eyes,
like, here come Brian. Here you go, Brian, because I had to do this, that, and the third. And it's just what I would ultimately, or not even, and not every time. Sometimes he tell me things, I'm like, oh yeah, I guess we don't have any choice there. But not after I exhausted his process, the steps that he took to get there. And it's not about fraud. It's about, did you do this the best way it should have been done? Now, if I didn't know him, it could have been about fraud, right? If I don't know you from Sam, hey, now I am approaching it for both reasons. Is it a fraud? Are you trying to be funny business, or do you just not know the best way to do it, and can we get to a better one? Trust but verify, run your audit reports, right? I talk to so many folks that have the audit. We have audit reports, but nobody wants to run it. Nobody wants to take the time to go through it because ginormous, right? The bigger the date frame, the more people you have doing transactions, the bigger that audit report's going to be. And it takes time. It may take a few hours to go through it and understand what you're looking at and what it really means, and a little bit of investigation and things like that, and asking people, hey, why'd you do this? But that's what it is. If you
You're absolutely right, bro. You're
Yeah.
absolutely right, because and you want to make sure that you're running the right reports,
Yes.
because all that other stuff that you may be doing may just be white.
Yes.
And that wasn't that one of the things that I think it was mystery at the museum where he was changing and stuff like
Yes.
that.
Exactly. That's a great example, because if you didn't run the audit report, you're not catching him. Now, they may not have had an audit report. So that's, hey, all payroll systems listening, build a good audit report
Yes.
into your system. All right. If you want to combat
Yes.
this 50K every year and a half for businesses, I think it's a great opportunity for you to build audit reports into your system so you can tell them, sell it. It'll help you sell your software.
Think about that. Think about that. A person may be at a job. That's the average 18 months. Some of them may
Maybe
go
longer.
longer.
That's
A
right.
person,
Shorter could be
person,
like, I get it.
person may run that scheme, and then you know what? We got some new
2
leadership.
years, I'm out.
I'm
Yep.
out. See you later.
Yep.
And then you find out person that left was doing
Was
some
doing
shady
so, yep.
business.
And yep. Only if you're looking for it too, because think about it. If they're gone,
Yeah.
you might not even look for anything. You may not have they've gone and you're not even looking as a new leader, and you're going forward. You're not really looking
Yes.
far too much backward, you know what I mean? Unless you're asked
Yep.
to look something. So that's a great call out.
Yep.
That's a really great call out. I'm sorry to sidetrack there.
No,
Yeah.
it's warranted, man. So I'm almost done. I got two more. So AI, they're saying the future of technology solutions is going to help prevent it. So the use of AI and machine learning
Mhm.
for fraud detection is expected to nearly triple over the next 2 years.
Mm.
So people are going to really start using AI,
Yes, please.
to help prevent these things. Despite technological advancements, vigilance remains crucial, as technology can both enable and prevent
So
fraud.
true.
So that's the thing we spoke to,
Yep.
right? Because we're saying these hackers and these scammers are going to start using AI as well. What was that one episode we did where they said they were using? It said something as a service, hacking as a service, or something like that.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Remember that?
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
These people are getting better.
Yeah.
These people are getting better. Like, there was an article that I saw, Brian, that said the people that are with handbags, right? You know how a lot of
Yes.
women like
Yeah.
their handbags? They're saying that they're getting way more detailed to make it look like the real thing. It looks like a replica of the real thing, but it's
Knockoff.
way
Yeah.
cheaper to make. It's a knockoff,
Yeah.
but it feels like the real thing.
If it's on the street in any city, USA, on the sidewalk, laid out on a blanket, is probably a knockoff, folks. Okay? Let me tell you. Let me tell you something.
If they have a blanket laid down on the
Yes.
corner
Yes.
and they got a bunch of bags,
Yes.
don't buy it.
Yes. Don't buy it. You can buy it,
But
but you're
they'll-
buying a knockoff. And nice to see that they're getting better with the craft, but it's still going to be a knockoff.
Yes, bro. So the last thing is, like I spoke to, is ongoing vigilance. Employers and accounting professionals should remain vigilant, even with technological solutions, as new tools for perpetrating fraud can emerge alongside advancements in technology. And with that said, I'm going to pass it over to you, Brian.
All right. Oh, wait. While I pull up mine, I did look up
The difference between government and public administration.
I did, yes, sir. You know me. And basically, public administration is for the greater good of the public and can often lead to a public job or government jobs, but it's basically you're doing something for the greater good of the public. But it doesn't necessarily mean you have to work for the government to do it. So that's the difference there. For anybody who cares, I like to know that. I like to know things.
You might be a payroll professional who's currently in public administration.
Could be. So my story is basically on the business front. A company called Atomic and a little bit about Atomic. Atomic is a leading financial connectivity platform trusted by over 195 financial institutions and fintech firms, including 13 of the industry's largest digital-first neobanks and 5 of the top 10 financial institutions. Very cool. Atomic serves as an essential bridge between consumer data, financial solutions by allowing unparalleled access to payroll, HRIS systems, and merchants, facilitating a range of financial services, including direct deposit switching, which I'm going to define because I didn't know what that meant either, income and employment verification, and payment method updating. See, I should have read the rest of that
Wow.
sentence because I don't know what that means either. But I'll give y'all some homework. You look that up.
Yes.
But so what they did was they're excited to announce that they're collaborating with the San Antonio-based Frost Bank, a top 50 financial institution with 185 branches across Texas. Incorporating Atomic into its operations will help Frost achieve its goals of improving customer satisfaction and making banking more accessible for all. Frost will be using Atomic's solutions for direct deposit switching to provide their customers with a seamless experience that fits with the bank's focus on tech. So they said at Frost, they continually to spend with time with their customers to see how they can better meet their needs.
Wow.
Good stuff, right? I love it. Now, do you know what direct deposit switching is? Me neither. Had to look it up. The definition is direct deposit switching, DDS, apparently. Thought that was a Nintendo system, but it's actually
I thought it was DDs. I was like, DDs. What the heck?
Oh, what?
DDs?
What's
All
that?
right. DDs.
DDS is a mobile banking feature that allows customers to send their direct deposits to a new bank account or debit card without leaving their banking app. So think if you connect a bank, right?
Yeah.
You connect an outside account to your current, and then you can just move money. Direct deposit switching. There you go, folks.
That's big.
That is big. That's
Ooh.
Yeah.
But see, in my head, because of
what
we just said, like the technological advancements, I'm just like, oh, somebody hacks into that.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's one of them. I can't think of it, but there's definitely danger there. But that's the thing. We can't, you know what it goes back to, Walt? You can't be scared to go outside. You know what I mean? We can be, stop. Walt's a homebody. Unlike some folks that can do both, right? And I get it. You outside too much, then you enjoy the house, and you enjoy the house and go outside. I like a balance of the things. But it's like you can't not go out because you're scared of getting hit by a car, or you're scared for something to fall on.
Can't live in fear.
There you go. Thank you, man. Thank you, bro.
Sure,
These phrases always elude me. Yes, you can't live in fear. And that's the thing. We got technology is moving. And are we going to move at the speed of change? Are we going to move at the speed of technology? You can be, if you don't want to do these things, you don't have to.
It's going to happen, right? Because we're a data-driven society.
Yep.
We're a data-driven race of people,
for real.
Right? People are going to attack data.
Yeah.
People are going to,
Yep.
That's why you got to protect yourself. That's why you got to be smart. That's why you got to be careful where you shop online. That's why you got to be careful who you even bank with sometimes, and who has access. It might be a good idea for you to update your passwords.
Oh, heck yeah.
Every so often.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It might be good to do those things just to try to prevent these things from happening. I get alerts all the time through my Experian. Oh, your data has been found out to be in a security breach here recently. And it's happening more frequently because that's where our information is. Yep. People can get access to our money through the data.
Yep, exactly right. I was just going to say, they're not sticking you up for your money anymore. They're sticking you up for the data. And then that gets them to many things. They could do a lot of things with the data. They could do way more. They can get money. They can get other things. So, yeah, folks, very cool articles today. I love it. And now, let's get ready for our guest, Amy Travis.
All right. Welcome our esteemed guest, Amy Travis, CPP. Amy was recently elected president of the Greater Atlantic Payroll Association and is currently a payroll director at Rexel USA. Welcome, Amy, to the show.
Welcome, Amy Travis. How do you do today? We're so glad to have you on the show. Tell us a little bit about yourself. We always love to hear origin stories of how folks got into payroll.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm currently very exhausted after a 13-hour day yesterday trying to get a vesting payroll to go through.
Oh.
So I know everybody can side with that. But Yeah, so my name is Amy. I actually live in Atlanta, Georgia.
Cool.
I have been doing payroll for over 20 years now, which I know I don't even look that old.
Oh, you
I always have to tell people. Yeah, it's funny how I got started. I was actually buttering garlic bread at a Sonny's barbecue when somebody came up to me, one of the managers, and said, what would you do if I told you you didn't have to butter that garlic bread anymore? And I got moved into the corporate office. I had worked as a catering coordinator, and we had a subsidiary company in Golden Corral where they had a DOL audit and needed someone to come key all of the manual adjustments for overtime look back for tipped earning. So
Wow.
I guess they liked my data entry skills. Just to talk straight from there.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
That's
Yeah.
the best story ever. She
It all
went from
started with garlic
buttering.
bread.
All started with garlic bread. That's
Yes.
the
Oh my
first. I
gosh.
love it. And we're foodies, so
That's
we're gonna be telling
amazing.
Yeah.
that story a
Yes.
lot now, Amy. Oh,
Yes.
that's great.
Yeah,
Yes,
and
yeah.
then I did a lot of restaurant payrolls. I was living in that world for a while, and then I ended up landing a job in 2014 with a really popular dealership group, and I was able to go from a lead payroll specialist all the way up to a payroll director by my 8th year. I really have to do a shout out to Janae Haynes because she was my mentor during that time, and I wouldn't even know about a CPP or a payroll source or anything like that without her. And she really taught me a lot. So
That's
yeah, that's
Awesome.
basically how I got here.
That's awesome. We always talk about most folks fall into it. I mean, the greater majority of it. But Walter actually chose payroll when he went into the military. Look, you're unique, bro. Don't shit. Come on now. You're very unique in that manner where you chose this job. Look,
Yeah.
I'd going into military, I would choose something kind of low risk also, right? I feel like that even though you had to carry a gun and
Well,
you were still risk, right?
there's a caveat to
Oh,
that.
what?
There was yes. So I was still in the and all that stuff
Right.
while I was in the military, but you have to take the ASVAB test,
Yep.
right? And depending on the score that you get, then that opens up the certain types of jobs that you do.
Oh.
I didn't do so good on the test because I didn't sleep well that night before, so I was just like
I
over
had
there,
those things.
and so I had a few jobs to choose from. So it was either like a dental assistant or payroll. So I was like, you know what, let me do payroll.
You chose the safer route, you thought?
I thought.
Oh wow, that's something. See, he's always like layering on the new the details for us. See what I'm saying? That's cool. So now,
I can't give you everything.
when I want to tell folks, when we were, I don't know, when we started planning this conversation with Amy, she gave us such a professional list of things. We were blown away. Holy crap, this is great. She could probably help us with content for the rest of the year.
Yes,
Right? It was so much.
Yes.
Yeah,
choose
I've seen
from.
a lot of things.
Yeah, and no, but we love it. It was the first time anybody has ever, because our notes and our things look like that. And I didn't even know where we landed, because when we finally started talking about it, and I was like, hey, Walt, she's the one that gave us that long list of very like detailed subject topics. And he's and I was like, so
Yes.
where did we land? And he was like, empathy in payroll. I was like, what? Okay, because
Yeah.
Walter is the only other person that probably, I guess my wife actually taught me what empathy meant, but that I have to talk about this stuff with on a regular basis, because Walt is very much, hey, give yourself grace, give others grace. And I think they in the same realm. Tell us, and my doc is not up, Walt. What does it say exactly?
Okay, so the first question is, do you feel that there is enough empathy in payroll? Why or why not?
Yeah, I think that this is something that we're at an impasse with, where we've got a lot of people who have been in this industry for a very long time. So we've got that old school of thought. And then after the pandemic, I really believe that the whole diversity, equity, inclusion really turned a corner for the world. People were burnt out and they were raising their hands and they were saying, see me as a person. I'm human. I have things. I have kids. And it really resonated with me because I suffered from burnout. And it's always been so important to me to make sure that the person that I'm speaking to knows that they're important, knows that they're heard. I did Mary Kay a long time ago. And there was a quote that they always used to tell us that you should always speak to somebody as if they have a sign around their neck that says, make me feel important. And I've just always taken that with me. And I just don't think that we're really in a position where we can avoid this topic anymore. Employees, your payroll team, your peers, they all want to be heard. They want to be seen. And when you do that, in turn, it trickles down to who they're speaking to. And once we can get that synergy with the payroll team and your peers, it's just a trickle down effect from there.
I love it.
Awesome. So you kind of spoke to the next question that we had. In your opinion, does empathy and payroll refer more to the payroll pros or to those that we serve?
So, like I touched on, you can't expect your team to act in kindness if they're not receiving the same thing. I'm newly in a position that I've been with for a year and a half, and I basically had to build a team from the ground up. I only had 2 people who stayed after the transitions. It was so important to me to build a team where there was trust and respect amongst all of us, because you really have to focus on getting to know the people who work for you, because anybody can go and do a job, but it's the jobs where they feel like they make a difference and that what they do is important that they'll stay with. And I just really feel like when you can focus on that with your team, it really just goes a long way.
Wow. See, you said that trickle down effect because
Mhm.
I think that's so important because I think there's power in what you just said, Amy, about, and I see Brian taking notes here that is for what you just said, but you cannot expect your team to be kind. They're not receiving kindness as well. Right. And I think that is so powerful because you're absolutely right. Payroll can sometimes be stressful, it can be
Mhm.
hard, it can be
Yeah.
challenging. And during those moments is when we have to remember that we're human, that the people that
Yes.
work for us and that we serve are also human, right?
Correct.
And I think sometimes we can get lost in that and forget that.
Yeah.
Even so, when somebody calls us and they're frustrated, we have that unction in us sometimes to respond in kind, to respond
Yeah.
with that same energy. Hey,
Yep.
me, I'm going to come back
Yep.
at you.
So
And
agreed.
that's not how it should be. So I think it's really
Yeah.
important. Yeah.
Agree.
Brian, you had any other
No, it
comments on that?
resonates with me because I was talking to a leader recently and just like reminding them that we were talking about customer service and how employees and the HR employee experience, and just reminding them, if you treat your people good, your people will treat your customers good. Right? It's the same thing with empathy involved, and it goes in that vein. It's just you have to treat your team well. You got to treat. We're in a new place in the employee experience now. It's EX. The employee experience is a thing. It's a trend, and I have a 20-year-old daughter, and I talk to her a lot about the workforce, and we talk about things because she's curious. She's constantly asking questions, and she hears me talking, and she's, "What is all that?" And she gives her point of view, and I tell her all the time, I love it. I still remember a day when I was coming up in corporate where shoot, people had just stopped smoking in the office, right? And yeah, that toxicity, that Mad Men type of toxicity was
Mhm.
just ending ish.
Yeah.
And yeah,
It's still around.
yeah, yep. Yep, and people, and I'm goodness, even into 2008 when the bubble burst, after the bubble
Mhm.
burst, then it was that attitude of lucky you have a job. And
Exactly.
Yes.
that evolution of that, right? What's up? Go ahead.
That's funny that you say that because do you feel that with the current climate, and I don't want to veer too much
Oh,
off the
it's all
topic here,
related.
do you feel like
Yeah.
some of that is happening right now with everything that's going on with inflation, the prices of
Yeah.
everything going up?
Yeah.
Do you feel like that
Mhm.
people are
Well,
being sure?
now I actually listened to your last podcast,
Oh,
and
thank you.
you were talking about the 85% that are most likely leaving their jobs this year. And I see it everywhere. If the companies don't change,
Yes.
if they don't realize what's important to people, if they don't take a step back, look at market medians and salary ranges and start to actually respect employees,
Yep.
they're just going to leave. We have no choice.
Yep. That's right. Yeah, we have to treat people better, right? And you're right, Walt. It could be. I think everybody's too scared right now. I don't think employers, if they are that bold right now because of that stat that folks are just leaving again. They're
Yeah.
talking about the quiet quitting
Mm.
again, and no, it's not the
Yeah.
great resignation. So all this the retention of things is still such a trend. Whoa, we're so
Mhm.
worried about talent acquisition as we should be, and retention as we should be, because that there
Yeah.
it has to evolve. It has to get to a place where all
Right.
companies understand in every
Yeah.
department, right? We can't have burnout. We have to be empathetic. We have to meet I love the ideology of meeting your employees where they are, right?
Mhm.
What are they doing? How do you
Mhm.
keep them happy? And it's different for every employee. It could be money for one person, could be status for another,
Yeah.
could be impact, could be flexibility. There's all these things, and you have to learn what that is so that you can meet them
Yeah.
where they are.
Yeah, and that's why it's so important to build those relationships because you don't know what your employees are going through or what they need unless they trust to confide in you. And I'm not asking them to tell me their medical history.
Exactly.
Care about the fact that they have kids. I care about that the single mom who has to leave unexpectedly to go get her child.
That's
It's all super important. Like they can't determine what's going to happen. And
Yeah.
we're not going to leave a child at daycare.
yeah,
I
parent.
mean, you
Yeah.
just have to
Yep.
yeah. You just have to know that employees need things. They need help. They need
Yes.
to know that they're
Human.
heard. They
Yes.
need they just
I,
they need respect.
Yes.
that is, yes, you're absolutely right. Because something that I keep thinking about, and let me know if it resonates with both of you, the fact that we are all feeling some sort of
Yeah.
pressure in life right now.
Yep.
Pressure in our
Yeah.
jobs, pressure personally. And we, as you were saying, Amy, to your point, we as companies and employers could do better with not adding so much pressure to the people that work for us because they
Right.
already have pressure on the jobs that they already have to do. We have to deliver and
Mhm.
make sure that these people are paid properly and so that they can fulfill and their needs and provide for their loved ones and their family,
Exactly.
right? And there's so much pressure out in the world with everything that's going on. I think we definitely need some empathy. I think
Yeah.
that's the perfect segue to our next question. What could we do as payroll pros to help promote empathy?
Yeah. It's really that trust in that relationship building because when you get to know who they are on the inside and they know that you actually care, it opens up a lot of more conversations around being truthful. Like I don't have the employee who's going to call out sick unexpectedly the next day because they wanted to go to a field trip with their kid, but were afraid to ask me. My team can come to me and they can tell me the most off the wall thing that's important to them. And I will say, okay, we've got you.
That's awesome.
And with building such an empathetic team who rallies around each other, cares about each other, anything can happen. And they're jumping in, picking up their tickets, doing their work without even asking. We recently had someone go on leave unexpectedly. And without a team like that, we would have never rallied together. And I'll even go behind them and think, oh, I need to help them. And then I go and look and nothing's there. They've done it all.
Wow.
Because they care. They care about the job.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
And that says a
that's
lot
amazing.
about the leadership. So that good goes to
Yeah.
you. Congratulations. That's awesome. So now the last one, is there such thing as giving too much empathy?
We haven't invented the magic wand. It's not like we can always have the answer or always be able to fix the problem. But it's so important that when we're talking to our employees and they come to us with all these crazy questions, right? Like it's the person that didn't get their paycheck on time because maybe their bank account got hacked. We can't do anything about it, but what we can do is listen. We can empathize. We can relate. We can make sure that they know that we care, we hear them, and we're going to do whatever we can to help them with what we can. It's not always an immediate satisfaction, but if the person on the other side knows that they're being heard and they're important, it just goes so much longer, a long way.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. Thank you for sharing that. We were curious too. We saw that you were part of the Greater Atlanta Payroll Association. Is that
President?
Yeah.
Get it right, Brian.
my
President.
fault? The president.
President-elect.
Right.
Oh, okay.
President-elect. Excuse me.
Yeah. Yeah. So the way that we have it modeled is that we do a president and a president-elect at the same time so that you can shadow each other for 2 years.
Oh,
Awesome.
so you'll
Mhm.
take over basically.
In 2 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes.
Shoot. That's still great. So you got a 4-year
Yeah.
term.
Mhm.
Wait, and then you'll stay in
Yeah.
term for how long?
Well, 2 years.
So in 2 years, you'll stay for 2
Yeah.
years. Okay. So
Mhm.
4 years or 6 years?
It's really 4 years. 2 years learning, 2 years serving.
Okay, got it. Awesome.
Great.
Yeah.
Is it attached to payroll org? Is it part of
Yes.
payroll?
Yeah, we actually won top of the year last year.
Oh, wow. Also, wow. So this is like a big congratulations. Goodness. See, Walter might be going
She's
to
a
Georgia
superstar,
soon,
man.
so you got a chapter you might need to
Yeah.
join there, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta learn from the best. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, for sure. Before we let you go, we have a game that we like to play with our guests. It's this or that. You can pick one, the other, neither, both. Doesn't matter. Just something fun to help folks kind of get to know you past payroll. Walt, you want to start it, or I'll start it, or what do you want to do?
I'll go ahead and start, and then I'll finish it off.
All right, cool. There's 6 questions. I'll do 3. Walt do 3. So first one is pizza or burgers?
Pizza.
Yes.
What kind of pizza?
I'm actually like a white sauce kind of girl,
Ooh.
or garlic and olive oil with just cheese and artichoke heart.
Yes. Yep.
I don't like red
Nice.
sauce.
Okay. No, that's cool. It's funny that you say that because I'm from New York, and one of the best places for pizza. I'm not gonna say the best because we all have our regionals and they're good.
Yeah.
But I'm in South Florida right now, and South Florida doesn't have a lot of pizza where you can walk in and get a whole array of sliced pizza by the slice. That was one of my favorite slices. My mom used to get the white slice a lot. And one day I was like hungry. I was like, oh, I got to taste this. And it was really good. I love it. The next one is a night in or a night out?
It depends on where I'm at from my day and my week. I would say both. There's a time and place for everything, just because sometimes I want to just, space out and watch a movie, or like a stupid movie that I don't even have to think about.
Yes.
Just laughs.
Yes.
And then I also enjoy going to concert.
Ooh.
I just love live music.
Nice.
Nice.
Awesome. I love it. All right. My last one is Excel or Google Sheets?
Oh, Excel.
Yep. Yes.
Everybody picks Excel.
With
Everybody
Payroll
picks
Pro, dude, Payroll Pro.
Yeah.
Walt's real good in Google Sheets, and I can't make the adjustment. I love Excel. I'm comfortable. For me, it's more functionality. It's easy to get to. Maybe it's just a change thing.
Yeah.
All right, Walt.
It's a time and place for that one too.
Yes. Agree.
Not when I'm trying to totally work out a worksheet.
Exactly.
Okay,
Thank you.
gotcha.
See.
All right, Coke or Pepsi?
So I'm actually originally from North Dakota,
Okay.
where my family is from. I was raised by the North, so I have to say Pepsi.
Oh. No. All right.
Sorry, Atlanta.
Sorry. Exactly. Yeah.
I get it. Hey, you gotta represent.
Gotta represent.
All right, Amazon or Target?
Amazon has a hold on me. I
Us-
can't. I really want to go against the man, but I have too much history.
That's hilarious.
We love you, Jeff Bezos.
All right, and then my last one is more AI or less AI?
I'm going to go more AI. ChatGPT has been game changing for me. I always get stuck on starting a project if I have nowhere to start from. And when I can get like a PowerPoint outline or just like a base process document, it gets me started.
Yes.
So AI forever.
Yep.
All right.
Agreed.
Right.
Love it.
Right. All right. So we do have one more section. You can stay on if you would like. It's a safe talk segment that we have where we ask a question that is maybe a little tough to talk about. So you can stay on if you want. It's maybe 5 or 10 minutes. Would you want to stay? So can you successfully navigate a payroll career without
I think you probably could. You would come out on the other side pretty burnt out. But I think that it's probably definitely smart to make sure that when you're accepting jobs that are in the payroll space, that you really vet out the company, you really get to know the person you'll be reporting to, and really make sure that's instilled, because you don't want to get stuck with
Yeah,
someone who doesn't believe in you.
that's true. What about you, Brian? What do you?
It's tough because it's that evolution thing again. I hit a point in my career where I didn't, again, my wife helped me understand what empathy is. And she would tell me, look, what got you here may not get you to the next place you want to be. And I was very straightforward. One of the things we learned in the show is that when payroll is connected to finance and accounting, your answers and the way you deal is very black and white, right? And as
Yeah.
opposed to when it's attached to HR, you may have more empathy. So
Yeah.
you smiled there, Amy. What were you thinking there? What were you thinking?
I left my last job because I was put back under finance to go and find another one that was back under
Oh,
HR.
wow. Look at that. There you go. And it's the research that we've done is more often than not shows that it's a kind of a split. It's 50-50, 46, very on the middle, equally split where it lies. Should it be in finance? Should it be in HR? I just saw a post by Anita Latink that kind of went into where it should be. I didn't finish reading it, but the first two things was,
Yeah.
should it be in HR? Should it be in finance? And I was like, oh man, I got to come
Yeah.
back to that one and read that. But yeah, I think that to answer your question, I think you're going to hit a wall in anything you do if you can't find that empathy, if you can't give
Yeah.
grace, if you can't learn to meet people where they are, you're going to hit a
Mhm.
wall. Folks like the directness, folks like the you get things done, but there's a
Mhm.
line that it's so easy to go over from being direct to being a jerk
Yeah.
and to being just bad words things. And yeah, so I just don't think that we're in that place anymore in humanity where you can live without this. Yeah.
I totally agree with both of your answers, and I don't think that you can successfully navigate your payroll career today's climate without the. Could you have maybe 30, 40 years ago?
Yes.
Absolutely,
10,
because it was
15
hey,
years
it was
ago. Yeah, exactly. I'm telling you, look, it's
yeah.
evolved so well.
You remember that episode we did with Brad
Yeah.
Voorhees, and he was speaking about how HR is
Yep.
changing, right?
I
Mhm.
thought about
About
that.
how they're more concerned about the
Yep.
human now,
Yep.
and they're really putting emphasis on that. So I think that is important, and so if we fall under finance that may not be their focus. They're
Yeah.
Black
more
and
like
white. Yep.
tie and white, and then HR is like going to force you or ensure that we're making sure that the employee's experience
Yeah.
is at the top of mind,
Yes.
not just making sure that they're paid right. Because one of the things that I think one of us said it, Brian, if you have healthy employees, like mentally, emotionally, you'll have a healthy company,
That's right.
right?
That's right.
And healthy
Absolutely.
processes.
I love it.
So I think that no, you can't
Yep.
without it.
I have one more parting question for Amy, and I'm going to take it from the great Jody Parsons we had on the show. And I love this comment she made. She said, "Don't tell us how you fell into it. Tell us why you stood in payroll. Tell us why
Yeah.
you love payroll." Can you tell us that, Amy? Why you stood? Why you love it?
Yeah, I really like numbers. I really like customer service and seeing people who are being helped and satisfied and solving the problems. I could go digging for a root cause analysis for five
Yep.
hours trying
Wow.
to report that. It's fast paced and there's never a dull moment. You're not doing the same thing every day. It really just keeps your mind open and going.
I love it.
Nice.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Amy, so much for joining us tonight, making time for us in your busy schedule. And
Yes.
will you be at Payroll Congress?
Yes, I will.
Oh, we will hopefully
We'll
get to
see
see
you
you
there.
there. I hope we get to see everybody that we've spoken to. We got to do one of those posts. Like I see folks posting that they're going to be there, right? Have you seen it? So
Yes.
I think we got to do
Yeah.
one.
Yes,
Say,
I have.
look, IAP boys are going to be there. you know? So yes,
Let's do
Yeah.
I'm
it.
looking forward to that. That'll be awesome. And again, thank you so much. It's been an honor. Thank you, Amy.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank
Amy.
you, guys.
All right. Good night.
Before we sign off, here are a couple quick things. Don't forget to follow It's About Payroll on LinkedIn and It's About Your Paycheck on Facebook and TikTok.
Thank you for being part of our payroll community, and thank you for being a part of this journey with us. Until the next time, keep learning, keep growing, and most importantly, keep going.